It's time for another sea story with Mr. Durite. Take it away, Mr. Durite. I think they're ready for it.
Welcome back to Sea Stories with Mr. Durite. I am your host, Mr. Durite, and today's show, Anav's sleeping problem. Oh yeah, this should be a good one. You should like this. Because you like all my other stuff, why not like this one too? Y'all ready? Let's do this. Anav stands for Assistant Navigator, and he assisted the navigator. All the stuff that we did as quartermasters basically had to go through the Anav. So we did chart corrections, or we fixed the nautical books or whatever. It went through the Anav, then it went to the navigator, then the XO, then the captain. That's how it went. And the Anav was basically over the quartermaster. One of the parts of the Anav's job is to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for whatever comes up. Like the 2000 and the 800 report, any corrections, message traffic, this and that. There's a million things that they would wake the Anav up for. And the Anav didn't really get a whole lot of sleep underway. I mean, I felt bad for the dude. Made me not want to do a second tour on the boat, because eventually you go back to the boat again, you're going to be a higher ranking enlisted person. Next thing you know, you're going to make chief. Then you got to get qualified ANAV, and then you're going to have to go through that hell. And I like my sleep. I didn't get a whole bunch of sleep when I was on the boat, but I tried my best to stay in that time machine as much as possible. Believe that. Oh, speaking of being in a time machine, this is how much I tried to be in a time machine. I had a little DVD player that I would put on my chest, and not even the Xbox One, not the Xbox 360, the very first Xbox, that big old brick, had one of those sitting in the rack. You know how big that rack was. That rack was about this wide. So got your laundry bag here, halfway pushing you out, because it was always pregnant. And then I had an Xbox over here by my head, kicking out all kind of heat, connected to this little DVD player that's sitting on my chest, and I'm sitting up here playing games. I tell you what you got to do, man, to pass the time, because there ain't a whole bunch of stuff to do on a submarine. But I'm getting off the subject, because we were supposed to be talking about the Anav, not me, right? I don't know why you be trying to sidetrack me like that. You need to stop that. They woke up the Anav a lot, for a lot of things. They would send a messenger to wake up the Anav all the time. And how I was speaking about the rack, well, there's not that much clearance between your head and the top of that rack. And right above your head is a light, right? So the light's like right here. And you don't just sit up in your rack. You basically slide out or you roll out. You don't sit up and try to get out your rack, because it's not even possible. It's like, how can I explain it? Because it's hardly anything out there like that. But imagine you trying to sleep underneath your coffee table. I think that's the perfect example. Now you get an understanding of what the hell we were sleeping in. Put you a little mattress, get your covers and a pillow, and slide underneath that coffee table. And you know how that table is like right there to your face? That's exactly how we were doing it. And don't even roll over on your side, because you roll over on your side, you gonna get stuck. Especially depending on how many TDU cans they got underneath your mattress, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. They would go wake up the ANAV, and the messenger would go, and the messengers weren't really loud and stuff. They would go in there, because it was always a junior guy, and you go wake up a chief, you ain't trying to get in trouble. So you tiptoeing in there, real nice and easy. Hey, ANAV, right? So then the messenger go there, hey, ANAV. And our ANAV, I don't know if you want to call it a sleeping disorder, but this dude, if you wake him up, you startle him, and he just jumps up, and the first thing he wants to do is sit up. Now that's a bad thing to do when you sleeping under a coffee table. So they'll come over there, hey, Anav, and he'll just wow, hit that light right there on his forehead, knock himself back out. And then they try to wake him up again. And then he gets up and bah, he hits it again. It's like, and before he can pass out again, the messenger will hold it like, hey, Anav, no, don't go back to sleep. They need you in control. And Anav will come up there to control, and he had this big red mark across his head. It was terrible. I'm laughing, And I'm laughing now, but at the time, man, it was serious. It was like I didn't want to send a message to the Anav because I was so afraid that he was going to knock himself out or bust his head wide open. And it got so bad, and they woke him up so much that he stopped sleeping in his rack. So you would catch him like sleeping in crew's mess with his head on the table. You know, you'll see him sleeping in CSES, you know, on top of a toolbox. Or you go to the fan room, and you know how, and this is a fast attack, you go past the radio room and you turn that little corner to get to the fan room door, and right there in that corner there's like a toolbox that we had, and he would be back there trying to sleep, and that was a good spot to sleep, you know. Not too many people bug you, because if they came up to go to control, they didn't see you, so ain't nobody gonna bug you. But it kind of made it hard to find the Anav when he was sleeping back there, but I think that's what his plan was. I wouldn't be surprised if he was sleeping back there in the engine room a couple of times just to hide. So one time he would sleep on that toolbox right there by the fan room. Then, you know, they figured out his little hiding spot, so they went over there to go wake him up. Hey, Anav. So this time, instead of, you know, getting startled and going forward, he decided to get startled and go back. Right? And right, if you know, right there in front of the fan room door are all the switches to the fans, made out of these big metal switches. Right? And he ran back, boom, he done cut off a fan. We just lost ventilation. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I don't even know how he made it. He eventually retired, and I was so happy to see him retire because I was so afraid that he was going to kill himself on the boat. You know how tall people on the boat, you know, you can't, like, I'm 5'6", and I was just like the perfect height to be on a submarine. Anybody taller than me caught hell, and anybody 6 foot, you know, they had a permanent hump in their back, right? Because they was always bending down, like going through the passageway. They was ducking under lights and stuff, and there was always something that was going to hit you, you know? It's like living in a danger zone, you know? You might as well have people shooting at you everywhere you go. Like, oh, pew, 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 pew. Oh, what's for breakfast today? Pew, 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 pew. It was dangerous, man. Especially if you was tall. I mean, they had some stuff that got me. I remember one time, I was in CSES, and they had a speaker, like right level with my head. And I was talking to somebody, and I wasn't paying attention. You know, yeah, man, yeah, talking shit, yeah, talking shit. And somebody came up behind me and called my name, and I said, yeah, and blah, that speaker got me across my nose. I ain't never got hit in my nose that hard, man, I swear. I saw stars. I saw green clovers, blue diamonds, yellow horseshoes. Yeah. Anyway, man, that was pretty good. I like that one. So I'm gonna wrap this up. This is my show, Sea Stories with Mr. Durite. I am your host, Mr. Durite. Until next time, peace. All right. Next one. This is gonna be Anav's sleeping problem. All right, here we go. J-A-Y on the letters of his name, cutting and scratching all the aspects of his game. Trying to rush as he cuts these jams and look at us with the mics in our hands. Then take a count. 1, 2, 3. Jam, Mr. J, run DMC. So, there's so. You know what? Forget it. So, all the stuff that we did as quartermasters. Hold on. Man, I got too much stuff going on with me. I'm sneezing, my eyes are running, I'm burping. I'm surprised I ain't shitting on myself. Anyway. All right. Get it together. So, and then before